Splitting wood is so much fun. And we're going to heat the upper room with firewood. So we're already starting to stock up over here. Friskers didn't pay me to endorse their splitting maul, but this is 8-pound maul, and you can see the blade profile on it. I've used a lot of different mauls in my life, and this one, I have to say, is definitely one of my favorites. I grew up with a splitting maul with the blade profile like this. You can see the difference in them.
Oh yeah.
And so this kind does work good, but sometimes you'll buy a splitting maul for, I don't know, $20 or $25, $30, and it'll be similar shape like this, but it'll be like really beefy in here. It'll be too blunt of an angle in here. You want a fairly thin angle in here, but then you want it to taper. There's quite a fair bit of difference. See how that's kind of beefy in there?
Yeah.
And then it's a little more narrow here versus here. It's very thin there, but then it quickly spreads out. So this is like a, I don't know, $70, $80 right now, but it's very well worth it. And you know, if you, like I had gotten one that was too beefy, and I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours grinding it down. And so then after I ground it down to the correct taper, it worked like a completely different splitting maul. So, you know, you can work with what you've got, but, and then here is a chopping axe, and this is, you can see how thin that is. And of course this is lighter.
Yeah.
So you can see the blade profile. You know, this is really good for chopping trees down or chopping branches off, delimbing. And so someone, I didn't do this, but somebody used this to drive a steel wedge. You can see how it's mushroomed out.
Oh yeah.
On the sides. This is a 4-pound, I think it says a 4-pound maul. These chopping axes are not designed to drive wedges or to split. Like sometimes people will be splitting wood and they'll put one axe in the log and then they'll use another axe and they'll beat it in like a wedge.
Yeah.
Don't do that. This is not designed. If you continue on with this abuse, eventually it'll crack somewhere in there. So, you know, and with this axe, with the splitting mauls, it really doesn't matter if you hit the dirt. But with the axe, you want to always keep it out of the dirt. And so if you use an axe to split firewood, it's better to use the splitting maul. But if you only have an axe, you can use the technique of where you twist it. And so I'm going to use a technique where instead of it going down and hitting the dirt, it's going to pop it off like this. See, it twisted like that. And so this twisting technique really doesn't work in like really with wood that has lots of knots. But like this doesn't have knots and it's pretty straight grained. So I can use the twist technique. And the twist technique, you won't be hitting the ground and you can keep your axe razor sharp. kind of splitting, but it didn't pop off.
It's a great technique.
And so, like if you want to make some smaller pieces, you know, I've got the 6x6, and if I didn't care about my 6x6, I could just hit the 6x6, but I don't want to ding it up. So I'll just use my twist technique. Well, I missed, so I popped off a little section. I just popped off a little piece. I'm going to try to hit it right here. Yeah. It's being uncooperative with me.
Nice.
The day will come when the beast will be fully in power, will enforce the mark, and those who will not cooperate with the popular narrative, that will not cooperate with the New World Order agenda, they will not sign up for that program because they have a conscience based on God's principles, informed by God's principles. And so the government will tell us as Christians, as believers, you cannot buy or sell. And that will be a cashless society. And so God's people will not be able to pay an electric bill. They will not be able to pay for their propane. They will not be able to go to Walmart. So they will have to learn, they will not be able to buy gas for their chainsaw. So they will have to be cutting their firewood just with axes and saws. And so now is the time to learn these skills. Don't wait until the crisis and then pull out your rusty axe. Sharpen it now. Get it sharp. Get it ready to go. Learn how to use it. And if you don't heed this warning and you just do what you want to do and do what you feel like doing and just live as you've always lived, you will be taken by surprise, and it will be an overwhelming surprise to you, and you'll regret that in the time of peace you didn't learn these skills. Okay, so here, I think I bought this at Tractor Supply for like maybe 60, or no, I think it was like maybe around $40, $50. You can see how from the side here, you have these little, so this is only 6 pounds. So if you're a smaller person or if you're a woman, this would probably be a better choice than that 8-pound maul. And you can see the difference between these two profiles. I like this one especially for, like you saw on straight grain wood where you're doing the twisting. I like this one for that. But then when I have wood that has a lot of knots in it and that's not straight grained, then this would be my tool of choice. Growing up, we never had, we didn't grow up Amish, but our only heat source was wood, and we never had a hydraulic splitting maul. And so we split a lot of wood. And some of my happiest memories are splitting wood with my dad.
Nice.
This one here is a Chinese special. And it had a really beefy, see the difference how that beefy that is compared to the other blade profiles?
Yeah.
And so, but this one I spent like 2 hours grinding it down. And so it's better than it was, but this one here is a 6 pound, and it's just buy something that's got the right profile, because it's really not worth your time to try to get a Chinese special and then try to grind on it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You can, and if you have the time and you have the equipment, you can get a Chinese special and you can change the profile, and you can make something that into something that will work for you. The fiberglass was splintering a little bit, so I put a electrical tape on it, and you want to wrap it so that your overlaps lay going this way. Like there's one way where you wrap it, because see, well, let's demonstrate this a little bit on the swing. So don't try to go like this. It's not going to work well for you. Your goal is, you don't have to bring it up on the left. Like I'm right-handed, and I bring it up on my left, kind of over my left shoulder, and so I go up like this, and I'm just using this hand to lift it up, and then I come down and I let this come down like this, and I let it come all the way down. If you try to do like this and then it's like you're pushing with this hand, but you're slowing it down. You're slowing the momentum down when you have your hand up here. So you don't want to be like pushing or this metal into the wood. You're letting the 6 pounds, you're swinging the 6 pounds like a golf club, and you're letting the 6 pounds do what it does with momentum. So, and this hand comes almost all the way down or all the way down. Now, some people are going to do it over this way, and that I'm right-handed, I can't hardly even spell my name with my left hand. So whatever works for you. But another thing, if you will bend when you come down, if at the same time you'll bend your knees and you'll bend down like this, you're putting more momentum into it, and it just has a more powerful impact.
That thing flew.
I'm gonna see how far I can. I'm gonna see how far I can shoot a piece of wood out. I'm gonna try to shoot a piece out there. And another thing that, like these rubber gloves, my hands were a little bit cold, so I had some gloves on. I feel like I can swing better without gloves. And they do sometimes make, okay, so this Friskers had a rubber here. It had a rubber from here to here, and it was giving me blisters. So I covered it up with electrical tape, and then Greatheart stepped on it and messed it up there, but a horse. But this rubber was a really bad idea, and it's gonna give you blisters. And if you use these rubber gloves when you're splitting, I feel like I'm not as accurate with gloves, and I feel like if I wear gloves all the time, I'll never get calluses. And real men have thick hands, so there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna see how far I can shoot this. See if I can shoot this one farther. gotta shim it here. Here we go. A little bit farther, a little piece farther. Now this is the butt end, and usually, so basically this is upside down from what it was growing, which oftentimes it does not split as well when it is upside down from what it was growing. But because of this, the way it is, it doesn't want to stand up straight with the way it is, so I'm splitting it upside down, which does not work as well. One more time and see if I can shoot it past what I've done so far. Now, well, all right. Having time to quit having fun and do something else. So the funnest way to cross this hole here is to just slide out, and then the way to build your muscles more is to just swing. And then everybody needs to have a rope like this, because whenever you have back problems and your back hurts, then you need to be able to, just kind of loosen out your shoulders a little bit. And then when you hang upside down, it stretches your back out, which is extremely good for your back.
Your shoes are in your way.
My shoes are in my way? Oh yeah, they are. It's cold enough that I just wear shoes this time of year, but when it warms up, you'll sure enough see me shed them. And then you can always, like for your morning routine, you can go up.
Wow.
You're like a cat squirrel.
Wow, that's impressive.
Woo! Woo! I'm thankful that my creator gave me muscles.
Yes.
Come on, Charles. Oh yeah,
Ready?
yeah. Swing all, yeah, yep, there you go. Just, oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's my morning routine.
Now you can tackle the
All right,
day.
Eric, you want to get you?
I'm the camera guy.
You gotta hang upside down, stretch
I'm
your
not
back
doing
out.
that. I might do it over the floor
Yeah.
in case I fall and hit the hay,